All right, so all of us have heard of Sakhis, or stories of the Guru, and they play an integral part in our understanding or conception of Sikhi. But where do these stories come from, right? What are the source of these stories? Most of us have heard of Janam Sakhis, but the Janam Sakhi literature only deals with the stories of Guru Nanak. So what about the stories of Guru Angad up to Guru Gobind Singh? Perhaps there was a text in the past that was the gold standard for the community when they were looking at history. And this is why I'm speaking today about Suraj Prakash. So the Gurpratap Suraj Prakash Granth, or for short, the Suraj Prakash, which was written in 1843, was the most comprehensive, detailed, historical book written dealing with the lives of all the 10 gurus. This text was the gold standard for history since its inception and continues to this day to be learned and read, even in the diaspora. So this paper intends to shed light on the origin of the text by examining the author, his context, and the text reception within the community since its inception, but continued to this day. So Santokh Singh, the author, was born in northwestern Punjab in the year 1788 to Deva Singh and Ram Devi, and belonged to the Shipa, or the cloth-making caste. And it's a real testament to the egalitarian nature of the Sikh community at that time, that Santokh Singh, coming from a low caste, could so highly be educated, and also his text would receive widespread institutional backing. Much of Santokh Singh's early childhood, up until the age of 11, was spent learning from his father, who was also an accomplished scholar on Sikh scripture. And it was around that time, at the age of 11, when Deva Singh and his son traveled to Amritsar, where he entrusted Santokh Singh to Gyani Sant Singh to lead his son's teaching further. So Gyani Sant Singh was known to be a resident of the Gyaniya Bunga, or the Bunga, or the institution of learning of Gyanis. So if you look to this map, number 47, that's where the Gyani Bunga used to be. It's currently no longer there. So although Gyani Sant Singh was known to be a respectable Gyani, it did not appear that he had many other students, and certainly not many others that wrote as extensively as Santokh Singh. But Sant Singh's rise to fame actually came through saving Maharaja Ranjit Singh's life in battle. And then subsequently, Sant Singh received gracious patronage from Ranjit Singh, and where he would take care of the duties of Harmandir Sahib and also perform Katha, discourse, to the congregation. Sant Singh was also in charge of refurbishing the Harmandir Sahib, supervising the installation of the copper plates gilded in gold on the exterior of Harmandir Sahib. So here's an inscription that mentions Sant Singh's role in the refurbishing of Harmandir Sahib. This is still there. So although Sant Singh was not known for teaching, he did compose a very lengthy Braj version of Tulsidasa's Rama Chartmanas, the life stories of Rama, which to this date have been unexamined. It was under Sant Singh that Santokh Singh then would learn Braj Bhasha as well as Sanskrit for the next 10 years. Following the completion of his studies, Santokh Singh spent some time traveling across Punjab and also spent time in Banaras before returning to Punjab in the city of Budi, where he began his first composition, the Nam Kosh, which is a Braj version of the famous Sanskrit Amar Kosh dictionary. It was soon after this composition, which was completed in 1823, that Santokh Singh began writing the Nanak Prakash, which is a Braj poetic hagiography of the life of Guru Nanak. Santokh Singh completed this major composition at the age of 36 in the city of Amritsar in the year of 1824. During this time, it was said that along with composing this poetry, Santokh Singh would perform Katha, discourse, to the local congregations in the nearby areas. The attention that arose from Nanak Prakash, along with the public discourse, attracted the eyes of many major institutions and players in Punjab. For a short period of time, Santokh Singh was under the patronage of Raja Karam Singh of Patiala, but then was called by the King of Kathal, Raja Uday Singh, where he was very generously sponsored, enabling him to write the majority of his works while remaining in Kathal for the rest of his life. This is a kabit written by Kavi Santokh Singh to Raja Uday Singh. So the city-state region of Kathal, which Uday Singh was the king of, in the district of Karnal, was founded during the Misl period by Uday Singh's grandfather, Desu Singh, in 1767. Soon after Uday Singh's death in 1843, the state folded into the British Raj. So it was here in Kathal where Santokh Singh would write the 4 of his remaining 6 works. In addition to Naam Kosh and Nanak Prakash, Santokh Singh wrote Garab Ganjani Tika, which is a commentary on Guru Nanak's Japji Sahib. He also wrote a Braj version of Atma Puran and the Valmiki Ramayana. And his last composition, the Suraj Prakash, which was the life history of the remaining 9 gurus. Actually, the commentary, Garab Ganjani Tika and Suraj Prakash, are the only works of Santokh Singh that are currently published. So the collection of works of Santokh Singh and his life provides an interesting insight into the literary culture of that period. This engagement by Santokh Singh into a wider and larger literary heritage does not necessarily require devotional or sectarian membership. As mentioned before, Nanak Prakash, which was written 2 decades prior to Suraj Prakash, but is commonly published since the 1920s, they have been combined. The combined version has 22 sections of all, which relate to the movement and the illumination of the sun. So the title Gurpratap Suraj Prakash is meant to analogize the sun's illuminating rays with the Guru's glory. As such, the Nanak Prakash is divided into 2 sections: the Purabad, the rising of the sun from sunrise to midday, and the second portion being the Uttarard, meaning the setting from the sun from midday to sunset. The chapters are called Anshus, meaning a ray of light from the sun. Following the Nanak Prakash, there are 12 sections called Ras, meaning months. These 12 chapters are the life stories of Guru Angad to Guru Tegh Bahadur. They're divided here. The rest of the Suraj Prakash is dedicated to Guru Gobind Singh. In the next 6 sections, they're called Rut, the 6 seasons in India. The concluding 2 chapters are called Dakhanan and Uttarayan. The Dakhanan refers to the December solstice, when the sun is at its most southern point in relation to the Earth's equator. The decline of the sun southward occurs from June 21st to ending around December 21st. The last section, Suraj Prakash, is the Uttarayan, or the summer solstice, starting from around December 21st, going till around June 21st. This is when the sun slowly rises north in relation to the Earth's equator. So in beginning of month 1, following Nanak Prakash, Santokh Singh outlines both the purpose for the composition along with the sources that he uses. So Santokh Singh himself describes the desire to assemble and compile a complete history of the Guru's lives. So he writes, the history of the Gurus within this world is not found all together in one spot. Just like within sand one can obtain gold, but with a sieve one is able to obtain gold through extraction. Thus from the world I will extract all the history of the Gurus, and I will write down the entire history. The majority of the Suraj Prakash, according to Santokh Singh, is derived from the stories written down by Ram Kaur and his associates. The Ram Kaur, according to Santokh Singh, was a famed Sikh who, after taking initiation at the hands of Guru Gobind Singh, came to be known as Gurbaksh Singh. Ram Kaur's lineage goes back to Baba Buddha, whose long life enabled him to live through the duration of the first 6 Gurus. An extensive portion of the 2nd chapter is dedicated in praise to Baba Buddha Ji, and then anchoring Ram Kaur to Baba Buddha. Ram Kaur, having spent an extensive time with Guru Gobind Singh and also being a descendant of Baba Buddha, was thus perhaps assumed to have inherited the stories of the first Gurus as well as Guru Gobind Singh. The history was then written down by a scribe, Sahib Singh, along with Ram Kaur, and somehow found its way to Santokh Singh while in Kathal, becoming his primary source. While Santokh Singh used these now inaccessible and unknown stories from Ram Kaur, he also mentions using stories by Mani Singh, who is said to have written Sikhandi Bhagatmala, which is an anthology of stories relating to various Sikhs from the times of the Gurus. It's possible that Santokh Singh used other literature from the Gurbalas era, so Gurbalas Pasha Shemi, whose author Bhagat Singh says his source was also by Mani Singh. In addition to Ramkot and Mani Singh's writings, Santokh Singh mentions how he traveled Punjab, picking up stories wherever he could find them. So Santokh Singh was so widely praised for his work that he was largely given the title Chudamani and Mahakavi. Chudamani meaning the crown jewel of poets, and Mahakavi meaning the great poet. And in Indic tradition, this was only reserved for one poet, Kalidasa, the most renowned Sanskrit poet. So here's an example of just one of the many literary devices used in Santokh Singh's poetics. This particular device is called the Singh of Lokan, or the sight of a tiger. And it refers to when, after a successful hunt, a tiger periodically looks to its rear to ensure that no prey is coming to steal its catch. And in metaphorical terms, this means when one periodically stops, pauses, and then reflects upon a task before continuing with their task. So in poetics here, we see that the final word of the first verse is used in the first word of the next verse. And this beautiful passage here is part of the concluding portion of Suraj Prakash. So, Tar apurva apurva roop paye Guru Nanak jot udar hai. Dar kido nar pant pare tene se jag sagrate par par hai. Parat hai gun tarat ogun gyan sakharat bag bachar hai. Charhon bed uchar hai sarhe band hon ab mohe udar hai. You can see how the last word of the first verse links with the next, and the next with the next, and it creates this chain. And this goes on. I've only clipped these two verses. So oral tradition within the Gyani tradition claims that upon completing Suraj Prakash, Santokh Singh personally delivered the first handwritten copy to Akal Takht, where a proclamation was made that it would be standard practice that its recitation and its discourse be done every evening. And this was a tradition that carried on through all of the 5 Takhts. So to this day, this tradition happens. If you go to any of the 5 Takhts today, you'll find in the evening time they do Katha of Suraj Prakash. Actually, at Takht Huzur Sahib just recently, they just finished with Suraj Prakash, the entire, and now they've started Pant Prakash. Huzur Sahib is a Takht that has both Suraj Prakash and Pant Prakash on rotation. And beyond the major institutions like the Takhts, the Suraj Prakash is still taught amongst the traditional learning institutions, such as the Satugali Taksal in Amritsar, the Damdami Taksal, the Nirmalas, and in select Nahang groups as well. And the real testament to the current reach of Suraj Prakash is viewing its influence in the diaspora, where more than a handful of Gurdwaras, both in Canada, America, England as well, have daily discourse of Suraj Prakash. The lasting reach of Suraj Prakash is a testament to the great ability of Santokh Singh on both substance and style. And although no current translations, full translations exist of the text, there are many resources online where you can still engage with the text. So if you're good in Punjabi, you can listen to Punjabi Katha on gurmatvichar.com. They have the original text there on ekateran.com. There's also some English translations of the Nanak Prakash, the beginning chapters related to Guru Nanak, on Sikh scriptures to English.blogspot. I don't believe it's the entire Nanak Prakash, but it's a significant amount that you can begin getting a flavor of the text. And yeah, thank you.